Hello everyone, welcome back to Ramon at Home. I'm so excited you're here today because in today's video, I'm going to share with you a series of Christmas centerpiece DIYs in Tablescape ideas to inspire you to set a gorgeous table this Christmas season. You guys, this is a compilation of some of my favorite Christmas centerpieces and I know you're going to love them. Also, stay tuned. In this video, I'm going to let you know how you can be one of the 4 winners of a $50 gift card to David Christopher's. Remember, right now, David Christopher's is offering you 10% off on your entire purchase online if you use the code Ramon10 at checkout. And on top of that, I'm going to be giving 4 of you $50 to spend on your Christmas decorating this year. So if you are interested in centerpiece making and how to create gorgeous tablescapes, please stay tuned. Don't forget to like this video and share with your friends on Facebook, on Instagram, and on WhatsApp because that is free and it really helps the channel. And then also don't forget to subscribe to this channel and turn the notification bell on because you will not want to miss what's coming up your way. There's still so much to share with you this Christmas season 2023. Are you guys ready? Well, we're going to share with you a series of Christmas centerpiece DIYs. Let's take a look. All right, everyone, so for this fabulous Dollar Tree centerpiece using the Christmas trees, what we're going to need is obviously 2 of the mini Christmas trees in the green. We're going to use 2 zip ties. We're gonna use 4 of these picks from the dollar store, and these are my favorite this year. We're going to use 1 of these bushes of the berries and a bow that I already pre-made. So let me clear this out real quick and we're gonna get started. We're also gonna need our hot glue gun. So I'm gonna put all of my tools to the side while I take these Christmas trees out of the package. And you guys have seen these centerpieces done, but I'm still gonna show you the Ramon at Home version. You guys know that I like to use Dollar Tree items and make them look a little bit more upscale, so you guys can look absolutely beautiful. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put this over here to the side. So the first thing you need to do is take the stems out of it, and I also love the fact that they come with the little stems. Then what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go ahead and cross them like this, and by using my zip ties, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to secure them right here by using 2 of them, so that way we make sure that they don't move and they don't go anywhere. So basically just zip tie these 2 guys together as close as you can and pull as tight as you can. And like I said, you want to do 2 of them just to make sure that they don't shift. If you do 1, then it will shift, but if you do 2 like this, trust me when I say it is not going anywhere. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and first cut the excess like here, and then I start the fluffing process. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go ahead and fluff out. These will look so pretty with some tall taper candles. What I want you to do also is just give it some dimension. Don't do all flat. Also put some up because it is a centerpiece, so it has to be up and down. And if we pull them up, then when we put the tapers down on the table, it helps to disguise that taper. And I will show you once I get it all finished. I'll tell you what it looks like with my taper. Some of them come like that. Save these parts because we can use those to attach to other items. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a minute to fluff this and I will be right back with you guys. All right, you guys, so now that our mini trees are all fluffed out and it looks pretty full, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go ahead and actually put it over here to the side, and I'm gonna bring 2 of the picks that I love from the dollar store, and I'm gonna go ahead and crisscross them like this, and also using 1 of our trusty zip ties. You know I cannot live without the zip ties. I'm gonna go ahead and attach these guys together like this, or like so. There goes another like so. I'm so trying to get away from it, but sometimes, you know, it's just because I'm a self-taught English speaker. Once you learn a word, you cannot let go of it. All right, and our bow has these 2 pipe cleaners that we attach with. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go ahead and attach my bow. I'm gonna swirl it around and very tightly just spin it around, okay? Once you have it like this, what you need to do is you need to go ahead and fluff all of your greens and make sure you know, some of these ornaments are hiding, make sure that you pull them up over the bow. You can pull this pine cone over here over the bow and just go ahead and fluff this bow. Make sure the tails are showing, those ornaments, those berries are showing. They're on a wire, so pull them up like that. All right. So once we have this done like this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my centerpiece back into the picture. And now I'm going to go ahead and attach the bow into the centerpiece. And very tightly, once again, you want to do this very tightly just to make sure that it goes as flat on the centerpiece. You're going to go ahead and secure it like that. And now you can go ahead and fluff again. Make sure those tails are showing. Make sure I'm going to bring, because one tail is this way, I'm going to go ahead and bring the other one all the way over and bring it over here so it's more cohesive. So I like the way this looks already. However, over here is empty. So what I did is I went ahead and put apart two of these picks, and I just took them apart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my hot glue gun, and then I'm going to start gluing some of these pieces. Like if you can see, this is like a brush pine. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and put it right here. And that really helps to fill in. And then I have this really pretty cedar. So basically just add a little bit of glue to it. And then you can go ahead and poke it in somewhere. And I recommend you poke it like this, like sideways. So that way it is more visible. And then also what you want to do is you want to go ahead and balance what you're doing. So basically what you do on one side, you want to do on the other side. So I added one of the brush ones over here. So then I went ahead and added one of the brush ones over here. Then I added a cedar over on this side. Well, now I'm going to go ahead and add a cedar onto the other side to balance it off. So that way, what is going down over here, it's also going down over here. All right, so this one also comes with this cute little berry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put some glue into my berry. And then I'm going to go ahead and attach this guy right here towards the end. Just making sure that I hide that stem. Then because I put one over here, we're going to go over to the other side. We're going to put some glue into our berry. And this is called balancing your arrangement. I don't know how many of you guys know, but I worked as a florist for over 10 years. And that's where I learned all of my tricks about balancing. So then it also came with some of the same pine greenery. So basically I'm just going to go ahead and stick it in to kind of fill it in. Not so much because it needs it, but those Christmas trees they're only $1, but look what you can do with $1 if you pull apart another pick, and look, it just helps you to really fill it in, and it's going to look absolutely gorgeous for under $8. Can you guys believe that? $8 you can create something gorgeous like this, and I cannot wait to show you what it looks like on my table. All right, so then I have some of these ornaments, and they come with a wire. So basically, I'm just going to cut that wire out, and I'm going to go ahead and put some glue into the ornament, and I'm just going to go ahead and glue them in to some of my pine bristles, like this, and secure them. Go ahead and hang on to it for a second, and remember, what you do on one side, you have got to go and do on the other side. That's why it's so important to work with equal amounts, because when you're balancing, you kind of need that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that one out, and I'm going to go ahead and add one more right here. Let your eye dictate where it needs it. Okay, now I have another big one over here, so I'm going to cut that wire out, and then I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of glue. I'm going to add this guy right here. Then I have some of these pine cones that are really, really pretty and glittered. I want this guy to be a little bit more in a prominent spot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and lift my bow right here, and I'm going to put it right here. And that's turning out really cute. Now I also have some of these berries from the bundle. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and pull the stem out and just keep the berries. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put some glue. Now here's something I want you to know. So this is our core right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start right here, and then I'm going to go across from my core, and I'm gonna do one right here. Then I'm gonna get a few more just to show you one more time. Then I'm gonna do the opposite. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go right here and glue it in, and then I'm gonna go opposite side, and I'm gonna glue in yet another one just by adding some glue. So if you guys can see, it balanced the whole centerpiece very well. And then I have two left. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go ahead and extend that by adding all the way to the end. And that way, it's going to look so much better. Look, now we're extending to one side, and we're gonna go ahead and extend to the other side, right here. And just like that, you guys, you have a gorgeous, gorgeous centerpiece for your Christmas table, and under $8. How about that? Well, if you made it this far into the video, I want to ask you to give this video a thumbs up and share with your friends so that they can come and join the Christmas decorating fun here at Ramon at Home. But now I'm going to give you the instructions on how you can enter to win one of the 4 $50 gift cards to David Christopher's. You guys, all you have to do is grab this video and share it with your friends on Facebook, on Instagram, and or WhatsApp. Once you share your video, be sure to take a screenshot and send it to me via Facebook or Instagram DM. The reason I want you to do that is because that's how I keep track of who entered the giveaway. Remember, a few months ago, we had 10 winners for $50 gift cards. Well, now it's going to be 4 of you to get you started with your Christmas decorating. One more time, all you have to do is share this video with your friends on Facebook, on Instagram, or WhatsApp. Once you share it, use the hashtag Ramon at Home, take a screenshot and send it to me on Instagram or Facebook via DM so that I can keep track of who has entered the giveaway. The winner will be announced in our next video next Sunday, so be sure to stay tuned if you enter for the giveaway. All right, you guys, well, now we're gonna get back to the video and I'm gonna share with you more Christmas centerpiece DIYs that are super easy to make and on a budget. Keep watching. I could not be more excited to share with you guys how I decorate my dining room for my Christmas home tour. But before I decorate any space, what I like to do is I like to give my furniture a little bit of a clean because it's been gathering dust daily and I just wanted to have that extra shine on my furniture. So I just go ahead and clean my table. I like to use this, you can get this at Walmart or any other store, so I'm just gonna put it right here on the side. So now that I have given a fresh wipe to my furniture and it's all clean, I'm gonna start by placing my chargers. These chargers were given to me a few years ago. They are from Target, but they are beautiful because they are all sequined. In this case, I'm going to set the table for 4 because I feel like if you set a table for, well, it depends on how many people are really coming over, but since this is just for the home tour, I'm gonna set it for 4. If you set it for more than 4, then it's just going to be super crowded and your centerpieces and such are not going to show as much. This is a smaller table, so I'm trying not to crowd it as much. So I'm gonna place those, and then I'm gonna place these right here that I used last year on our home tour. Who has seen last year's home tour? So you know that we used these chargers. So now I'm gonna do a double stack of chargers, and I'm gonna place that on the top. They are made out of crystals, and I think this came from Target as well a few years ago. And I just like to collect things like this, and I like to put them away because you just never know when you're going to need them. So far we have 2 chargers, a beautiful gold one with sequins and beads, and one of them is stuck on my finger and it had some glue. I'm gonna put it right here. I'll take care of it later. Oh, there's 2 actually. And then so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my dishes, and for that I selected a blue and white pattern that I purchased quite a few years ago. It is a beautiful Chinese pattern in blue and white. It's called Canton Blue, and it's just absolutely beautiful. So I wanted to have a little bit of blue and white here in the dining room because you guys know that blue and white is all throughout my house, and you will see that on the home tour. It is in the living room, it is in the kitchen, it is everywhere. So that way you have a cohesive look throughout your place. And if you have an accent color, I really just recommend that you put it all throughout your home in little accents, so that way you can have a beautifully cohesive home. So now that I have my blue and white pattern, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna break it down with a little salad plate that has a gold rim on it. And these are super affordable. You can find some of this in your local antique stores, thrift stores. You can find them right now at Hobby Lobby and Walmart because they are more like a holiday plate, because it has that gold rim all throughout and around it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down that pattern. I will show you in the close-up what it does. It just hides that detail, and then it shows just the pattern on the outside. And look how beautiful that looks. And it just looks so, so nice. All right, so that's gonna be our salad plate. Then I'm going to add some really beautiful stemware. And for this, because the room has a lot of red, if you guys can see right here on our Christmas tree, which by the way, if you have not seen how we put together this Christmas tree, I'm also gonna link it down below. And there's a wreath right beside me, and there's other elements you guys will see on my home tour coming up very soon. By the way, if you don't have the notification bell, turn it on because you will not want to miss this year's home tour for Christmas. So just to tie it all together, once again, I'm going to use a red beautiful goblet, and then I have one with a gold rim that goes well with a plate with a gold rim, and I just absolutely love it. All right, so I'm gonna put those two right there. And you know what, you can always buy these items. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, this came from a local thrift store. I like to collect stemware that have different colors, because you never know what you're going to put together, and your room just looks put together when you use these type of things right here. So I'm gonna put my stemware like this. I'm gonna have to readjust because I'm working backwards right here, and I'm gonna put the last one on my table. I always like to use the wine right here, and then we'll do the water goblet right next to it. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place all of my flatware, and for this occasion I selected this beautiful gold flatware. I've had this for quite a few years. It was a gift from a co-worker. I wonder how Carol is doing. Carol, if you're watching, thank you. I'm still using the silverware that you gave us. So we've had it for quite a few years. And when you use your silverware and your flatware, I really recommend to go ahead and give it a clean, because you want it to be as sparkly as possible, especially these ones that don't get used as much. And then also want to give you a really quick tip. When you place your silverware on your table, remember the knife and spoon have 5 letters like the word right. So you have to put the knife and the spoon on the right, and fork has only 4 letters like the word left. So you put those on your left on your place setting. All right, let me see if I can do this backwards right here. I think the knife goes right here and the spoon goes right here, and then our fork will go over to this side over here, and then we'll have a spoon. Then also make sure that the knife, the sharp part of the knife always goes inside, because it just looks like you wouldn't hurt anyone that way. Okay, so far that's good, but what's going to really make this a statement is going to be our napkins. Remember that we have a lot of plaids this year. My theme is plaid because I think it's very traditional for Christmas. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab a napkin like this. Make sure that you iron them, they're pretty pressed. And I'm going to lift up my white dish, and then I'm gonna put the napkin, and look what that does. It just brings the patterns all together, the Christmas plaid, the blue and white, and the white, and it just looks absolutely beautiful on your table. It looks very Ralph Lauren-esque, which, if you guys know me, you know that Ralph Lauren is one of my favorite designers in the world, not only for clothing, but for home decor and accents. Whoever his team is, or whoever the creative designer at Ralph Lauren is just absolutely brilliant, and it is one of my most, how would I say this, Jameson hell. By the way, thumbs up for Jameson on the camera today. It is one of the people that inspire me the most. Yeah, he's one of my favorites, one of my favorite designers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place that napkin right there. We'll adjust in a second. And look how our table is starting to look like Christmas because of all of the reds and all of the golds. But I'm going to get the centerpiece ready. This is going to be a showstopper. Keep watching. Are you guys enjoying this video? I really hope you are. I want to take a second to invite you to come and join me on my Instagram for daily Insta stories, behind the scenes, and all of the things that you don't get to see here on my YouTube channel. The link to all of my social medias are down below, along with my Etsy shop in case you want to check it out. All right, let's get back to the video. Okay, so I want to talk to you about the silver. You guys just saw how I clean my silver. I usually store these little guys on Ziploc bags, and these are heirlooms from Jamison's family. I think his uncle and aunt. I don't remember what their name was. Do you remember who gave you this? Somebody in your family gave you this, and with a little rest and all those things that your uncle was it? I don't know who. It was maybe Tony and Linda. I don't know who gave this to us, but somebody in Jamison's family gave it to us. And so we keep it very clean all the time. And as you guys can see, it's super clean. This year, I want to really press upon you to go ahead and take all of your heirlooms out and use them with your family and friends and create memories. Because if they're just gathering dust because you're so afraid they're going to break, or if they're going to be damaged, you know what? I'd rather create the memory of a plate breaking than just having that plate stored away and put away, because that's what they're for, especially if they belong to somebody special in your family. Every time that we use them, we just know that somebody in Jamison's family gave them to us, and we appreciate them even more. All right, so now for our centerpiece, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna keep it very simple, and I have also these tablescapes, this candlesticks. You guys, my words are failing me, and I just make sure that I tie them really good. And I have two of them that I'm gonna put right next to each other, and I want them to be really close to each other, because the closer they are, the more drama they're going to create. And at this point, you might have to readjust all of your plates and all of your cups to make room for it, but that's all there's going to be for a centerpiece like this. And then I'm going to bring this guy right here as well, and I'm gonna put it like this so they're intertwined together. And I'll adjust just to make sure they're on the center. Then what you want to do is you want to grab some of this moss. Oh, let me actually get my candles ready, because I have some beautiful taper candles that I got at Hobby Lobby, and these are the 20-inch candle tapers. You guys also saw this kind, well, another ones last year on our home tour, and I just, whenever I go to Hobby Lobby, I make sure that I grab a few, because I really do like to use these tapers on my decorating, because they create a lot of height and a lot of drama, as you guys will see in a second. But what you do is you bring a little bit of this green moss, and what you do is you insert that moss right here. Then you put your candlestick or your candle taper inside of it, and this will do two things. Will hold the candle in place, and then when your wax burns, it'll burn into the moss, and then you can just pitch that moss. If you don't put that moss in there, it's going to burn into your candlestick, and then to clean it, well, it's not as easy as one might think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab yet another one. I'm going to make a little hole right here. I'm going to insert my candle right there, and see how it just like it tightens the grip on your candlestick. And look what it does also, it creates a little bit of interest on your candelabra, and it just looks a little bit more finished than if you were just to put, I'll show you the candle right here. It's going to wobble. Look how it is, like you're not, because the hole is not, you need a bigger candle, and I don't have a bigger candle. So what I do is I just grab a little bit of moss, I put a little hole in it, and look at this. It just tightens your candle, it places it in place, and it looks absolutely beautiful. So these are the little details, you guys, that when it comes down to Christmas decorating, it really makes a difference. All right, so this is our last step. I'm going to finish the other one. I'm gonna clean the table, and I will give you a beautiful close-up of this tablescape. Keep watching. All right, you guys, so the first step is gonna go ahead to fluff your garland, and once our garland is fluffed, we're gonna put this to the side because we're gonna move on to our centerpiece base. For that, I selected this clear base from the dollar store, as I told you earlier. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab my hot glue gun, and I'm just gonna go and be very generous with the glue right here in the center. And I just like to hear it pop. Once we've been generous with it, what we're going to do is I'm gonna grab these 2 blocks of foam and I'm gonna go ahead, put them flat straight, and then I'm going to push down so that glue will get tacked into my packages. And I'm always telling you to leave this foam in the package because that way when it crumbles, you're not left with a whole mess, but it's all gathered and contained. So once we pushed our garland, our foam, our garland. I'm looking at the garland, so I'm thinking about the garland. Once we press our foam, what we're going to do is we're going to grab our garland and we're going to cover our mechanics by adding this garland around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go all the way around like this and very tightly. So I want to make sure that it's very tight like this. You know what? I'm going to go one more time right here like that. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab 2 of the bristles and just attach it tightly together. And once you've done that, what you want to do is you're going to give it a little light fluff at this point. So you're going to be left with this, and that's where our hurricane is going to sit with our candle. So the way I like to do this, I like to find the center and then just like to mark it like this, so that way I know where to insert within the foam. So I'm going to actually move this guy over here so I don't break it. We'll be back to you later, so stay tuned for you. So we're going to fluff this real quick. Once we have our garland all fluffed out, our first step is going to be to add our ribbons. And so first I'm going to add this beautiful ribbon that has got like a sheer, almost like a sheer feel to it. And also it has some glitter in it. And I like to start with a dovetail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and put right here. And you guys, I have a video of a gorgeous centerpiece. If you are looking for a centerpiece tutorial with traditional burgundy color, I'm gonna leave it down below because I have one that I did a few years ago. And actually I'm gonna leave all the centerpieces down below so you guys can get to see them, because centerpieces are like one of the most requested things here on the channel. And also at this point, I wanna ask you guys to give the video a thumbs up for Jameson, who is our cameraman. Yay, come here, Jameson, say hi. A lot of people are always saying hi to Jameson when they see him in the street. How are you doing?
Doing great.
Doing great. Is there anything you want to say to the public?
Christmas is here.
Christmas is here. All right, so there's Jameson who's helping with the camera today, you guys. Thumbs up for Jameson. I've been trying to talk him into being on the videos more often, but he's a little camera shy. Every time that the camera turns on, Jameson goes stiff as a board. And then he's like, well, I don't know what to say. And as soon as the camera's off, Jameson's back to normal. I don't know what that's about. But so what we're doing is we're gonna go ahead and do one swoop all the way around. And then bring that to the center. We're going to end right here with another one. And this twist improves our probably about 4 to 5 inches. And that's just gonna give us some beautiful ribbon in our centerpiece. I'm gonna cut that right there and put that right there. All right, so I'm gonna fluff this together real quick, get the rest of my materials, and I'll be right back with you to give you the next step. Keep watching. And we're back. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of the beautiful plaid ribbon. And the reason why is because I want all of my DIYs to have the same ribbons, so that way they look cohesive. And for this particular one, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do a 2-loop bow, and then I'm gonna actually grab some wires because I was gonna tie it with the bristles that come on your garland, but I'll show you a trick. I'm full of tricks, you guys. What I'm going to do is I'm gonna attach it really tight, and then what I need to do is cut those tails because I don't want them to be too long. So what we're going to do is we're going to dovetail. And remember, every time you're making a wreath, think about this. If I come to your house and your ribbons are not dovetail, I'm gonna ask you for a pair of scissors. I'm gonna start carrying my own very own pairs of scissors. And look at that, just by adding this little bow right here, it just adds that color of traditional plaid. So what we're going to do is we're gonna do another one. I want it to be really small. Remember, I don't want it to overpower my greenery. So what I'm going to do is basically I'm just doing cute 2 little bow tails. I'm gonna cut this guy right here. I've seen somebody who does the dovetails like this, you guys, and I've tried. They go like this, and then they go like this while they're working on their bow. Look, but that is harder than it looks. So I've watched this person for years, and I saw him do that. I was like, whoa, that is interesting. So I'm gonna do a triangle. I'm gonna do one right here. I'm gonna do one right here, and I'm gonna go all the way down on my centerpiece, like that. That's gonna give us another bow. And so now I'm gonna do the triangle by adding yet another one over on this side. I love traditional colors. Traditional colors are my favorite ones for Christmas because as much as I love the crazy colors, there's just something about traditional colors that remind me of my childhood. We never really did have a Christmas tree. That's probably why I love Christmas so much. But what I do remember of people having the Christmas trees in their homes was the traditional red and green. All right, so I'm gonna turn it to me, and I'm gonna put this bow right here, like that. We'll fluff, fluff. And look at that, that just added all of that beautiful texture. And as you guys can see, all the ribbons are traveling on the same direction. So I always make sure that I'll point all of my tails going the same direction like a wreath. So that's our second ribbon. So now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add some of this beautiful bejeweled ribbon as well. And what I'm going to do for this, I'm going to cut little tails like this, about 5 inches. I'm gonna pinch right here, and then I'm going to cut. I just want those jewels to be on my centerpiece, and I'm also only going to do 3. So basically we're going to do the same thing, just grab like this, but you know, this doesn't need to be finished. We want it to look finished, so we're going to cut at an angle. And I feel awful because it has so many jewels, but you know what, it's more important that I get the texture right than the ribbon, because I already paid for it, so I can do whatever I want with it. Right, so I'm gonna attach one right there, and I'm gonna add those jewels. Then I'm gonna do another one. So basically just fold like this, cut. We're going to angle it. And I've told you this, guys, before, but every time that I do a smaller ribbon like this, I like to cut at an angle because it's so hard to dovetail. Then if you have a 2.5 inch, then you can dovetail easily. But when you have a small ribbon like this, it's really, really hard. All right, so I'm gonna do another one right in between all of the red ones. I'll stand it up in a second so you guys see what I'm doing. But what I'm doing is I'm attaching to one of my bristles and then really tightly. And so I'm gonna do every single time that there is a void between the red ones. So you did 3 red, and then I'm gonna do 3 of these jewel ones. I'm gonna cut yet another one right here. And I'm gonna grab, it's just so easy to look. You put a wire through, then you pull, and then that gives you that cinch. And so now we're gonna cut some of the angle. I also have a friend who does Christmas, you guys, and every time I see her cut her expensive, beautiful, gorgeous ribbons, I'm like, no! But then I understand that if you don't cut that ribbon, your tree is not going to look the same. I used to, when I worked in retail, we used to hide the roll, the bolt, in the Christmas tree because my boss hated it when we cut it. But there is no way you're going to get the same effect unless you cut those ribbons. All right, so now what I have is all of these beautiful ribbons. They give me a lot of texture, a lot of sparkle. And so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to add some of my greeneries. And for that, I have this beautiful stem that I'm just gonna go ahead and cut right here, all of them at once. You guys know that I like to cut all my materials at the same time. That way I don't have to, well, take a lot of time because my time is money. Isn't that what they say in the industry? Time is gold or something like that. So of one stem, you guys, of one little stem like this, I'm making multiples. I'll show you. So there's one, here's another one, and here's another one. So be sure you cut those stems to get the more bang for your buck. Like that. So now I did 4 out of this one. Look at me go. Let's start with those. I'm gonna put this one right here. What I'm going to do is now I have to fill in my centerpiece, and so I need to put some texture in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right here on the top and see how that starts to add so much texture to your Christmas tree. And I love this greenery. This greenery is from Walmart, and guess what? It makes your centerpiece look so real. And what I do recommend is you always go one, like if you don't have a lazy Susan, I really recommend to get a lazy Susan because you can always rotate your centerpiece. So that way it looks like a wreath when you're done with it. And then also, as you guys can see, I'm standing some up and laying some down because that's also what's gonna give us that balance. Remember, I've been telling you on my videos now that what goes on the left happens on the right, and what goes up must come down. And then also that balance is our best friend. And so if you always just remember, balance is my best friend, it always come to mind. What happens on the right happens on the left, and what goes up must come down. So I'm gonna put that one right there. So one up, one down. As you guys can see, I put one up. Now I'm going to go ahead and do one down. And at this point, I do like to fluff my ribbons because you're gonna flatten them out a little bit while you do this step. So I'm gonna add one right here on the top. And then I'm gonna spin around right here. And guess what? I did need it, that last stem that I put away. I'm gonna put it back, but no problem. You can always go back and get your stem. So I'm gonna make 3 out of that one. I'm gonna add this one right here. And I'm gonna fluff my bows. Actually, you remember all of the bows are fluffed at the end for that same reason, because we're working with it. Okay, so now I'm gonna add this last one. Put it right here on the top. Normal, right here on the bottom. Like that. All right, give me a second so I fluff all of these bows, and I'm gonna come back to give you the next step. So keep watching. Okay, you guys, so now the next step is going to be to add some of these beautiful berries. And look how absolutely stunning this look with the ribbon. They have that champagne color. And so basically you do the exact same thing. One up, one down, spin about 30 degrees. Would you say that's 30 degrees what I just did, Jamison? 18 degrees. Jamison, our mathematician, just told me that I'm spinning it 18, not 80 degrees, but 18 degrees, 80 degrees, whatever. Just give it a little bit of a spin and you're gonna find out how, and look how beautiful that looks. It's just adding so much texture to my centerpiece. I'm gonna add one right here. And because I need one right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this one from here, and I'm gonna bring her over here. Remember, we have to have all the materials all the way around, but they don't have to really be exactly placed because we have still one more to add. And look at this stem, you guys. You can basically just pull on it and it falls apart to where the point where you need it. So we're gonna add all of this. That's what I love about this particular stem. I'm gonna add one right here. I'm gonna cut a little bit. And always, always, always have your tools at the ready, because that way it's gonna save you a lot of time. So I'm gonna add one going up. I'm gonna add one going down. I'm gonna spin a little bit. Then I'm gonna repeat right here. I'm gonna add one up here. And then I'm gonna spin a little bit. And then I'm gonna add my one going down. I've met so many of you who told me you do centerpieces to sell and how appreciative you are of all the steps we've taught you here. And nothing makes me happier to know that somebody out there is making a living out of the things that we share with you here on the channel, you guys. That really makes me happy. All right, so I'm gonna add the last one over on this side. Like that. Okay, so I'm back, and now what I'm going to add to this beautiful centerpiece is going to be some of these gorgeous poinsettias. So basically I'm just gonna give it a curvature like this, and I'm going to add one right here. And I'm only going to use 2. So I'm gonna add one right here. And then immediately on the other side, like I've always told you, what happens on the left happens on the right. What we're going to do is we're going to add the other one right about here, making sure that that goes into your foam so that it can be very well balanced. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my candle, and I'm gonna set that on the center of my centerpiece. And then I'm going to grab my hurricane. And this hurricane is from Michael's. You guys can find the hurricane at Michael's. I know that's one of the questions that I get all the time. So you can get one of Michael's, and I'm going to just set my centerpiece like that. I'm going to grab my little remote that I don't know where I put it, right here. And I'm gonna turn my candle on like that. And just like that, you guys, you have a gorgeous centerpiece DIY for Christmas that is elegant. It is so beautiful, simple to make, not a lot of things, on a total budget. And I know you can recreate. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend. and we're going to get ready now for our next Christmas DIY. Keep watching. All right, so I want to give you a quick close-up of this absolutely stunning traditional on a budget centerpiece. You guys, this diamond ribbon, it's so beautiful. It just sparkles so gorgeous. And look at the beautiful poinsettias. Can you believe they're under $3? You can put as many or as little ones. I only put 2 on this one because I wanted to keep it on a total budget, but you could add a few more if you wanted to. And just this beautiful red with the plaid and this gorgeous ribbon also. It creates a beautiful centerpiece for your Christmas table, and I really hope that you will give it a try. All right, everyone, so for the second option, I wanted to do something smaller and a little bit more personal. We know that this year has been very difficult, and some of us will not be able to spend the holidays with our whole family. However, that's not a reason not to create a beautiful tablescape for 2, for you and your loved one. And on this particular tablescape, I just put a little table right here by my Christmas tree, which is where we'll have our breakfast. I did a dish stack with a beautiful wicker charger, a blue and white plate, and a beautiful white and gold ram. I put a little ornament right here to make it a little bit more festive. I found the shiniest one I could find. Then I did my set of 2 candles with a moss, as I show you in the other one. I brought out the big kahuna, the silver bucket, and I'm gonna go ahead and have my wine or my champagne ready for the occasion right here. I use this gold flatware, which I really think that makes it a little bit more festive. As I told you before, just because we are going through what we're going through doesn't mean that you cannot have a gorgeous holiday tablescape. And it really didn't take much time to just move a few things around the house and create something beautiful for 2. I also love it. I match my stemware to my dishware, so I have one of my champagne flutes with a gold rim, and then also a wine glass or a water glass in the color blue to tie it all together. This look with the leopard chairs and the tartan plaid and the blue and white is very reminiscent of Ralph Lauren, so I really wanted to bring it the silver to make it more elegant. And as you can see with the Christmas tree right here, it really does make it feel Christmassy, intimate, and absolutely elegant. I really hope you enjoy this tale for 2. And if you are alone at home with just your honey, go ahead and set something gorgeous, whether it is by the tree or by the fireplace. I really recommend to create a memory like this for your holiday season. All right, so the first step was to put our foam down. And so now that our foam is down and secure with our clear tape, what we're going to do is we're gonna find a spot to put our little owl. Now you wanna set it right there, and now what I'm gonna have you do is you're gonna grab a wire. This is an 18 gauge wire, it's very thick. So what we do in the industry is that we cut a wire in half, then we cut it in half again, or you can go to Hobby Lobby and get some S-pins, which I do have, but I don't know where they are right now. So, you know, this time of the year, I just have things everywhere. If you guys just could see the studio, you'd fall backwards. So this basically what you're going to do is you're gonna create an S-pin by cutting one long wire into 4, and then you're gonna fold them into half. So it's kind of like a bobby pin, basically, what you're creating, but it has to be a really thick wire because we want to make sure that it holds our bird in place. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put that S-hook between the little claws of my bird. I'm gonna go back and forth right here. I really don't need very many of them because this particular foam right here is a florist foam that is very dense, so it's going to be able to hold my bird in place. As you guys can see, I can lift up the whole thing from the bird and it's not gonna fall off because that's what those S-pins are going to do. All right, so now that I have my bird, what I want to start doing is I'm gonna start giving my arrangement some shape, and I'm gonna do with this really linear greenery, and I want it to be long and flowing, absolutely gorgeous. So I'm gonna start right here on the back like that, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one right here like that, and this is how thick it's going to be. I'm gonna save this one for the front because I want a longer one for the side, like this guy right here. This is going to define the shape of our arrangement. Look how long it is. And then I'm going to do this one right here on the back. And remember, what happens on the left happens on the right. So immediately what you want to do is go ahead and give it a spin and do the exact same thing on the other side. So basically what I'm going to do now is do the other one right here. And now I'm gonna go all the way around and I'm going to repeat right here on the back like this. And this guy right here is going to serve as the height that I'm going to use I don't want to pass this height because I don't want to lose my bird in all of the beautiful things that we're going to do. All right, so now I have this beautiful flat cedar I'm going to add. Remember, when you add your florals, be sure to give them a little bit of a spin like that. That's gonna give us a lot of texture and a lot of dimension to our arrangement. Look at that, and you continue just to spin that arrangement like this. And remember that what happens on the left happens on the right, and to continue to spin your bouquet. And look at that. How absolutely cute is he already? All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring some of the thicker materials, and I'm going to start doing that right here. And I try to grab the same item at the time, so that way I can do my what happens on the left happens on the right. And this one's a little crooked, so I need to straighten it up like this. Look at that. How cute is he? So now I have this flocked one right here. I'm going to add this guy over on this side like that. And because I came this way, I'm going to go forward, but now I have to go a little bit lower to make sure I don't cover my bird like this. Let's see, what else do we have over here? Then we have all of this. That's one of the good things about taking your picks apart, because look at all the material you have to work with. Instead of just having one pick, you have so many that you can choose from. All right, so this one is the one that I was looking for, because I do want this one to be right here on the front like that. Look how fun. Okay, so now I'm gonna continue adding this flocked material right here. And at this point, you could glue it. If this is something you're doing for sale, then I recommend to grab every single stem and dip it into your pen glue, or you could also use your hot glue gun. And that is the question of the day. What do you like to use better, a hot glue gun, or do you like to use a hot glue pen? I am a big fan of the pen. However, it does leave a lot of strings, so I've learned to love to work with my hot glue gun, just because it is a little bit cleaner than it is with the hot glue pen. All right, so far so good. I'm now going to add some of these really cute items like this frosted eucalyptus, and I'm gonna put one right here, remembering that what happens on the left happens on the right, and we should have equal amounts because, well, because we put apart two of them. So that means if we had one on each, then we have two, and if we have two of each, then we have four. So what we need to do is just look for them, and this is what's gonna give us a little bit more texture, dimension. And we have these linear ones right here. Look how pretty this is. I'm gonna add one right here on the back, because remember we added this guy right here, so now I want to equal it out right here. And then I'm gonna add one to the front, but to the front I want to add it a little bit shorter. So now I'm going to go like this, then I'm gonna put it right here like that. And I have another one of these. Let me see, I need to see the front so I can see where I need one of these guys. I'm gonna add this guy right here. You know, when I worked as a florist, this was one of my favorite things to do. Creating, we used to call it character centerpieces. We put a character in them, so whether it was Santa Claus, an owl, or any type of character, I just love making them because they were the first things to sell, you guys. People really seem to like these characters during the holiday season, and why wouldn't you, right? How cute is this owl? I think it is super cute. All right, so then I have one more of this, so I'm gonna bring it over here, and then I have one more, and so I'm gonna bring it over to this side. Sometimes we can pull out this brown thing, and it is easier to poke than trying to fight the thickness of it. And then I have one more of these. I'm gonna once again swirl it towards me to see where I need this guy, and it's packing up pretty good. I love the way this is looking, but I'm gonna add this guy right here. And I have, this is the last of this guy right here. So I'm gonna add it right here to the back, like that. And I have all of these really cute berries, and these berries I'm going to put really tight into the bird. That's what's gonna start filling in the inside of my centerpiece. And remember to always just go as tight as you can. And I wanna start swirling this around, and just make sure that you put it sideways. Remember, if you put it sideways, then it's going to touch the foam, and it's gonna start to hide that foam, which is at this point what we want. Oh, this one doesn't want to, oh, there you go. Like that, and just continue to go about 80-degree turn every time. So there's that. And so now what I have, let me put this in the trash. What I have is these cute flowers. These are, believe it or not, from the dollar store. These are so cute, and I'm gonna cut them really short to once again go up against the bird and to start covering some of that foam. Remember to cut them short. The shorter you cut, the more you can pull to the foam, and the more it's going to start to hide it. You know, every time that you see a piece of foam, just go ahead and add that flower, and look how cute that is. It's starting to hide that foam, helping us create a more beautiful and finished look. And I'm gonna add this guy right here to the back. Thumbs up if you guys are enjoying this video. You guys, I have so many Christmas decorating ideas and DIYs. We're just getting started. So I really hope that you are enjoying this video. And remember, last week I shared with you the s'mores Christmas tree. If you have not seen the s'mores Christmas tree, I really recommend, or the traditional one. So far, my favorite has been probably, I want to say the Barbie one, because it was so colorful. It was so not what I do, but you know, sometimes getting out of the box is what makes our creativity spark. And I'm all about trying something new when it comes down to decorating. Look how cute, you guys. Isn't that adorable? Okay, I have a few more. And I'm going to add, hey, this one fell out of the stem, but no problem, we'll add it right here. And I have one more that I'm going to add on the other side. See, sometimes saving your items from one season to the next, you just never know where you're going to need them. All right, so far so good. I also love it, but this little bird needs a little pop of color. So I'm gonna get some pop of color in the form of poinsettias and some other items, and I'll be right back. Keep watching. Okay, so far we've added our foam and we added all of these picks of flocked greenery, but I think this bird needs a pop of color. So for that, you guys, at Hobby Lobby, they have these really picks that had an ornament, some holly, some really pretty snow balls, and some berries are red, and I wanted to add some of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, first of all, face it towards me because I want to see where I put it. So I'm going to add this guy right about here, and I'm going to push, and look, just that little pop of red, it really does create a little focal point. And Jameson continues to tell me that every time I put my wire cutters or my scissors down, you can really hear it. So I'm gonna try to be careful about it. By the way, thumbs up for Jameson. Jameson, come over here, say hi. Come here, say hi. He has been helping me this season, you guys. If you see the improvement in the videos, it's because Jameson has been helping. Say something to the public.
Helping, it's more of just pressing one button and...
But you give me ideas, you tell me about the things that, you know, need to be careful about and stuff.
Right.
All right, well, go back to the camera.
Exactly.
Clap for Jameson, yay. All right, so I'm gonna grab my other bowl right here, and I'm gonna go opposite. Remember, what happens on the right happens on the left. So I'm gonna look for a spot that is opposite. I'm gonna push that right there. And just that little red pop of color is super cute, but because it is Ramon at home, we're gonna keep going, you guys. So I found these bushes at Walmart, which by the way, still has the tag. These bushes at Walmart that I also love this poinsettia. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut a few of these poinsettias. They're super cute, and they are the perfect pop of red that we need. And then also it has this berry right here. So there's one. This is what I'm telling you. They try to do equal parts. And so what we're going to do is we're gonna put that down over there. I'm gonna grab my poinsettia and I'm gonna fluff it a little bit. Don't be afraid to fluff your flowers, guys. And then I'm going to go opposite the little red dot that I put right here. I'm gonna go like this. All right, everyone, so for this next Christmas DIY on a budget, what I want to share with you is how to create a super cute rustic arrangement for around your home. You can put this on your entryway table, on your coffee table, and your bedroom is going to be super cute. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm gonna cut some of these sprigs. You guys know that I like to buy greenery just about anywhere. Walmart, Hobby Lobby, high-end stores, Shinoda Design Center. I know David Christopher has some really good ones. And so what I'm doing is I'm cutting some of these clippings, just making as many as I can. And the way you do that is you cut at the joint and you just make them short. Like this one right here is too long for me, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in there in the joint, just make it smaller, and this one right here as well. My wire cutters are getting, I think they have some glue in it, they're getting stuck, they're getting tired. They're like, Ramon, this season has been too long. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by telling you that this is a beautiful container that I had that actually belongs to my mom. And I put some foam in there. It doesn't really matter how you put it because we're going to cover most of it. So we're gonna start inserting some of this greenery. Remember, what happens on the left happens on the right. And what I like to do is I just like to add the corners first, like this. And then I put one in the middle, like this, to kind of define my height. And so now I start inserting all throughout. And it really helps if you spin it around like this, because you want to make sure that there is greenery all throughout and as close as you can to the foam so you can start hiding that foam, because that's like your goal is to hide that mechanic. So I'm gonna add one right here, and this one once again is a little too long for my taste, so I'm gonna cut it in two, and then I'm going to go right here in the middle and also right here. So this is our basic greenery, and as you guys can see, it's all the way around. And by doing what happens on the right happens on the left, you have a very well round arrangement, greenery arrangement. So now what I have is these beautiful, beautiful picks that are going to be the stars of the show. They come with this magnolia that I am obsessed with, and this red berry. And look how much of it you get if you just fluff it, you guys. This is from Hobby Lobby, and so what we're going to do is we're gonna open one like this. We're gonna cut a little bit because it's a little too long for my taste. And then we're going to insert as far down, letting that magnolia really spill forward, letting that pine really fill in. Once again, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna cut right here. I'm gonna open a little bit. Now I'm gonna go opposite direction than that one, like that. And then once you insert on an angle, you pull down to make that magnolia really spill back. So I'm gonna do another one real quick. So you have to fluff every single wire there is, okay? And like this. And by the way, thumbs up for Jameson, you guys. He continues to work behind the camera. Come over here, say hi. He continues to work behind the camera. He's been an expert. Which one is your favorite DIY that we've done so far?
There's so many.
Trees, garlands, wreaths. Which one do you like the best?
Probably the colorful wreath.
The colorful wreath was so much fun, you guys. And actually, Jameson chose that one. Unfortunately, now is sold from our Etsy shop. And thank you to the lady who bought it. Yes, we really appreciate it. Is something you want to say to the public?
We're full swing and we are ready to rock and roll. We're going.
We're going. All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Jameson, for all of his help. What I love about this one also, you guys, is the little berry. It adds a punch of color. So I'm gonna add this one right here. And this I'm going to add as close as I can to the rim of the container. And that's gonna help me cover some of that foam as well. All right, so we have the last one. And I just wanna share with you how quick it really is to create a beautiful rustic arrangement for your home this holiday season. This berry I'm going to see if I can take out. No, I can't, so I'm just gonna leave it there. I don't wanna destroy it. All right, so I'm gonna cut a little bit of that stem as well. And I'm going to add as close as I can to the rim of the container. And that's going to be so, look at that. I could stop right there. This is really pretty, but who are we kidding, right? This is Ramon at home. So now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab some of these poinsettias from Hobby Lobby, and they have these really cute rusty bells in the middle. I'm obsessed with it. On this one, so I'm gonna cut just a little bit of it, and I'm going to go right here on this corner, and remember to insert at an angle like this, and go all the way down to press your poinsettia like that. So now I'm going to go the opposite direction. Remember, what goes on the left happens on the right. What goes up must always come down. That is actually the law of gravity. I thought I invented it myself, but apparently there was a famous gentleman so many years ago that came up with that. All right, so I'm going to insert right here, like that. Look how cute that is. So adorable. You would think I would stop right there, but what would a Ramon at home arrangement would be without a bow? So for that, I'm going to bring this cute burlap ribbon. Believe it or not, you guys, this is from the dollar store. You know I'm not afraid to mix me some expensive and inexpensive items. So for that, I'm going to grab my burlap with a ho, 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 joy, joy, joy. I'm gonna give myself a cute tail like this. I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna move this a little bit so you guys can see what I'm doing. Down, flip, because this one does have a script. Down, flip, another bow, gather, 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 pinch, flip. And at this point, you have to start creating almost like an X, like this. Pull all of your tails. We're gonna do a few more because I wanna use all of this ribbon. I want it to really cover some of that perimeter. I'm gonna go right there. So six loops right here. Then I'm gonna grab a skewer, and you know I'm always telling you, you can find this at your local Hobby Lobby or Walmart on the florist department. This is a florist tool, but they already sell these skewers with a wire, and what you do is just ravel that wire around, and that gives you a pick. And so now what I'm going to do, I'm gonna cut right here, and I'm going to grab all of this like this, and I'm going to find a place where I want it. So I want it on this side right here. And I'm going to insert my pick at an angle like this, all the way down to add a bow. I'm going to cut this tail real quick, like this, a little bit shorter, but I do want it to come down like that, and this one as well. Be sure to put the script forward by twisting it, like this, fluff your cute little bow. So we have a bow on this side, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab me some wire S's, like I told you before. We make these wire S's by cutting some wire. I'll share with you real quick. So you cut a wire in half, and then you bend down like this, and you create kind of like a bobby pin, and you close it, and you grab your ornament, and you put that bobby pin through the ornament right here. So you have this hook, then you really close it like that. And so what you want to do is you want to grab, this is basically your stem. So you're gonna go in here, and then you insert that into the foam like that. And so that's going to hold your ornament right there. And we're going to do another one with this little one right here, but this particular one, I'm going to close right here, and I want it to dangle like that off of the rim of my container. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go at an angle. I'm gonna open right here and do a drop, and look for some foam. I lost my ornament. Hang on a second. I pull so hard that, you know, they come off. I have not glued this one. So basically what you want to do is hang on to the, you know, the best thing to do would be to just glue it at this point. But you look for that foam, and then you insert your ornament like that. And now look at that. So you have this beautiful arrangement that it was super easy to make and affordable, you guys. So if you too follow the steps on how to create a gorgeous arrangement, you can have this for just a few dollars this holiday season. All right, so now I'm gonna get ready for the next DIY. I know you're gonna love it. Keep watching. All right, so I wanted to give you a quick close-up of this really cute arrangement for your home. It is done on this rustic looking container, and as you guys can see, all the pines and the magnolias and the beautiful check poinsettias with the jute edge and the bow. You guys, look how sweet that bow is. And also the gold ornaments right here. They're just focal points for your home this holiday season. If you follow the instructions on how to create a gorgeous arrangement, you too can have something that is so easy to make, super striking, and so beautiful in your home this holiday season. And I have two of these stems, and I keep on mentioning, you guys, you want to keep these little stems. We're going to use them for a project later on. Here at Ramon at home, we recycle as much as we can. So if you like recycling materials, well, you're in the right channel. All right, so we're gonna make sure that we cut these guys a little short. Then with our hot glue gun, we're gonna put a little bit of glue, and then we're gonna start inserting some of these just to give it a little bit more of texture to our centerpiece. I love this from Dollar Store because it really has a little bit of air to it. And if you guys follow Ramon at home, then you know I'm all about the fly on greeneries. However, you do want to cut them a little bit short, and just go ahead and poke around your centerpiece to give it a little bit more texture, like I said. And don't forget to go down and up. So I put one down. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and flip it around, and then go up. I'm going to flip it around a little bit, about 90 degrees, and then I'm going to go down, and just make sure you do insert into that foam. At this point, you can glue them all. I'm not going to, just for video purposes. But if you want to leave it like this for next year, I recommend you glue it if you want. You don't have to. I tend to just recycle my materials here. Ramon at home, we're all about recycling as much as we can so we can save a few dollars for other projects. All right, so we have added a little bit of this cedar, and I also love the way this looks. So then what I'm going to add is going to be some of this glittered holly that I purchased from Hobby Lobby, and this comes in this wire as well, so you can cut them shorter if you want. So I'm going to add a little bit of this gold, and once again, whatever goes up must come down. So do one up, one down. I'm gonna flip it a little bit. You guys can see what I'm doing. I'm gonna go ahead and cut some of this like that. I really love this glitter holly from Hobby Lobby because it really is super affordable and it is super, super good quality. So I am so in love with it. Good job, Hobby Lobby, at creating good quality product and making it affordable for us DIYers and people who like to do their own decorating. So whatever goes up, remember, must come down. So I always like to add a little bit up, a little bit down, and just keep spinning that centerpiece, you guys. The secret here for a balanced centerpiece is to keep spinning. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and add one more, put it down here. And then I'm gonna add one more down here. Make sure you insert into that foam. Then you can always fluff your ribbons as you go. If they get flatter, just make sure you pull them up and fluff them. You wanna see some of that ribbon. All right, so I'm gonna put this to the side. And then what I'm gonna add, so I'm gonna add some of this, and this brown, it has a little bit of gold in it, and I'm just gonna add this for a little bit of texture. And I also love the way that looks with the burlap ribbon, and you can also find this at Hobby Lobby. Just make sure you insert far down. That one's too tall, so we're gonna cut it. Don't be afraid to cut your stems, you guys. All right, so we're gonna insert right there better, much better. And keep in mind that I'm always spinning around because I like it to be very well balanced all the way around. And always, as I said, what goes up must come down. That's just how I design. That way I keep a balanced look into my centerpieces. All right, like so. And there is a like so for those who are keeping tabs. All right, so I'm gonna add one up here. And then I'm gonna keep spinning around. And I'm gonna add, I also love this look. It's kind of traditional and rustic at the same time. It's really pretty. Make sure you insert into your foam. All right, so far so good. So now what I'm going to add is some of these ornaments I have in red and green. And the way I like to add them is I add a little bit of glue, then I poke it down, and I like to add sets of 2s, 3s, and 1s. So I'm gonna add 2 of these together like that because they show up better. I'm gonna give it a little spin. Then I'm gonna add a gold one by itself because it is bigger size. And keep in mind that I'm recycling all these materials, and when you recycle materials from projects past, make sure you put your glue in the same spot than it was before. That way you will not see any of that, and nobody needs to know that you actually recycle that material. As you guys can see, you just put the pretty part up. And so I'm gonna add 3. When you have smaller ornaments, I recommend you do sets of 3s. That way, well, they show up better. I'm gonna show you real quick. So that's 2 right here. And just add them together like that. And I'm gonna add this green one right here. You do have to press a little bit because if you don't, it'll come apart. But if you just press and leave it press for a few seconds, it'll stay where it needs to. Like that. And then you spin around. And I'm gonna add a bigger red one. Actually gonna add this one. And then also alternate from flat to matte to glitter. That way it's got a more of a designer look. All right, so far so good, but then what I'm going to do to finish this off, has a few ornaments, it has a lot of gold and glitter. So what I'm gonna add is gonna be some of these poinsettias right here on the top. I'm gonna go ahead and just fluff this guy. Remember always to fluff your flowers, stems, garlands, and wreaths, because when they come out of the package, they come pretty flat. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna give it a little bend like this, and I'm gonna insert this guy right here, and that will be some of our focal point, right? And then I'm gonna grab the other one. I'm gonna give it a fluff, always making it look more beautiful, like that. Then I'm gonna give it a bend, and I'm gonna go on the other side, like this. Just make sure you push really hard. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring in my candle, put it in the middle. Then I'm gonna finish it off with my hurricane. And voila, you guys, you have a beautiful centerpiece for the holidays with beautiful ribbons, poinsettias, glitter picks, cedars. Is absolutely gorgeous. What do you guys think? Okay, so now what we're going to do is a gorgeous and traditional Christmas centerpiece DIY. And the other day we went shopping at Shinoda Design Center, and you guys, I found these really cool swags that are made for centerpieces. I already went ahead and fluffed them, but what I want to share with you is that it has the candle holders, and of course I'm not going to add the candles till the end to give you a finished look, but it's already integrated, and this is the perfect swag or centerpiece form if you are making a centerpiece yourself this Christmas season. So let's get started. So I have my materials right here, and I'll just talk to you as I go, so that way we don't take a lot of time, because this video is already running a little long, but I do want you to learn how to make a gorgeous centerpiece. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do some loops, and I'm gonna start right here with this beautiful champagne ribbon that we also used on our wreath that you guys just saw. So what I like to do is to try and keep it as cohesive as possible by using all of the same materials. If you are decorating your house for the holiday season, I think personally, and this is just my humble opinion, that it looks more beautiful if you use the same materials all throughout the house. Your house looks cohesive, and it just looks like more designer-like than if we went ahead and just did like a candy cane in one room, or perhaps let's say traditional on the other. So I feel like it feels and it looks more designer-like if you go ahead and just do one. So what I did is I went ahead and added this tail right here. And so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab the other one because that one doesn't have enough. I'm going to do the same now, but I'm going to go over on this side, and because I left it long on this side, I wanted to touch and graze the table. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start over here now, and I'm going to do the exact same thing, having a longer one over on this side. Because remember, what happens on the right happens on the left. And so now what we're doing is we're going to go ahead and do some loops. And I want to mention this is a no glue DIY. I just figure I share with you, because if we are going to buy this form, which is not very expensive, to be honest, let me see if it has a price still on it. It's only $14, you guys. How affordable is that? Right, so now what I'm gonna do is do another loop right here. So what I was gonna say is I wanted to do a no glue, because if we're going to buy this form, well, if you are making them to sell, you know, my recommendation is always to glue. But since we are not this occasion, then we're just gonna go ahead and add our items and share with you how easy it is to create this centerpiece. So I'm gonna cut right here. And now what I'm going to is I'm gonna grab my plait ribbon, and I'm gonna do some really cute bows. So I'm gonna do 1, 2. Remember, we're not gluing or using wire. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab this right here, and I'll do it on this side. I'm gonna grab this right here, and when using the bristles, I'm just gonna twist them real quick, and then I'm gonna fluff my bow right here. And I'm gonna cut at a dovetail, and I don't have enough. Let me see if I do. You don't have to also be exact with this particular one. I want you to be creative more than anything. No, I don't have enough, but I did drop one of them. I didn't want you guys to see that, but I did drop one. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab this right here and do yet another one of these 2 loop bows, twist it, and then I'm gonna grab over this side now, and I'm gonna do the exact same thing, just using 2 of my bristles. I'm gonna twist them into place, And then what I do is I fluff them and then I cut. Let me see. And I think 2 of these plaid bows is just enough because I do have other items that I'm going to add. So this is what it looks like right now. It's all really pretty with a gold ribbon and then just an accent of that traditional ribbon. And you know what? I just thought of something. So if we pick our leftover ribbon, fold it and dovetail it, what we could do is fold it in half, do a tail at the end right here, or 2 tails. And so what you need to do is you need to insert and then you want to readjust those tails, of course. So they're a little shorter. Oop, I cut the wrong way. Like that. One short, a little bit longer. Like this. See how now we have the 3 right here? And I'm gonna have to go ahead and go down, pick up the other one that I had already pitched. But look, that just really added a little bit of texture. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna pinch right here. I'm going to introduce this bow right here, or these tails, and then I'm going to cut a little shorter. I cut the wrong way again, because I'm doing it backwards, but no problem, we can always readjust. Look at that. This is that traditional color right here, and now I'm gonna do that and see how now it has that color all throughout the centerpiece. It was so easy, and you can do it. All right, so moving on to the next is going to be to add our flowers. So I'm gonna grab some of these poinsettias. You guys know that I like to cut them all at once, and in this occasion I'm going to cut them as long as possible because we're going to insert throughout our centerpiece. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna grab right here and I'm gonna give it a curvature, and I'm gonna start inserting these flowers right here. So I'm gonna add one right here. Remember, what happens on the right happens on the left, so we're going to add yet another on this side. I'm going to add one right here straight up, like that. And look, see, you don't even need any glue to glue this really pretty poinsettia. So I'm gonna grab another one and put it right here. As long as you leave that stem long, then you are fine and good to go. I'm gonna add over here to the end. Look at that. How easy is that, you guys? Then I'm gonna add another one over here. If you are doing it to sell, then I do recommend to cut it short and then go ahead and add a little dab of glue, and you'll be all set to go for sale. All right, so now we have our poinsettias. So now what I'm going to add is going to be some of these berries. And I don't know if you've noticed, but when I'm working, I like to have all materials on one side. I don't know why. Maybe that's normal. I don't know, but I just like to have them on the right to pick up and to add to my centerpiece. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of these really pretty berry from David Christopher. So I'm going to add one right here, and then immediately I'm going to go over to this side, and remember to leave the stem longer so it latches on to our centerpiece form. So I'm going to add this guy right here, giving those ribbons a little bit of fluff. Then I'm going to move over to this side right here. I'm going to add some over here at the end, going through our loop like that. Look at that, how pretty is that? You'll see it in a second. I have this big one, so I'm gonna add it over here. Also, what you could do is, I'll share with you real quick. You could put one right here and then grab your bristle and just twist it in, and that'll keep it into shape. So I'm gonna go ahead and spin around. I'm gonna do it one more time right here. So I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna grab this bristle and just twist it with it, and that way it looks like it grew from the bristle. All right, so now since I have these 2, I'm gonna put over here, and I'm gonna move on to the gold. This is my favorite flyaway. You guys know that I will not do an arrangement without flyaways, whether it's a big one or a small like this, because it really is what adds all of that pizzazz. Look at that. Just a touch of gold glitter can really make your centerpiece look so holiday. So remember, one to the right, one to the left. And then what we do is we repeat. So I'm gonna spin over to this side. I'm gonna repeat. So I'm gonna put one right here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and spin around, and I'm going to add the other one going this way, like this. And then this last one I'm going to add over here, like that. And I also have some pine cones that I had from past projects. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add this pine cone right here. I'm just gonna twist that wire that it comes with, and then I'm going to go the opposite way, and I'm going to do the exact same thing, lifting my ribbon and just putting that bristle through. So far so good. I have a few left over of these, so I'm gonna go ahead and add those for more pizzazz. All right, so now this looks great, but I do have some ornaments over here that I'm going to bring up. I have some large ornaments like these gold ones, and so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna open right here. They're already pre-wired. Remember that I always tell you to wire your ornaments before we start working, and I've shared with you many times how to do that. So I'm gonna add a big gold over here, and then I'm gonna move to the other side, and then I'm gonna grab right here, and I'm going to twist that wire in and place it into place. And so now I have a red one that I'm going to add over on this side, like this. And I have another red one that I'm going to maybe add. I'm gonna add all the way over here and just twist it into my bristle, like this. And that'll put it into place. And then I'm going to add our last one all the way over here. So that way we have the same elements all throughout our centerpiece. So I'm gonna add this guy right here. Just twist that wire in, like this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna give all these ribbons a fluff. I'm going to add my candles and share with you the end result. Keep watching. All right, you guys, so here is the end result, and I just absolutely love the way this turned out. No glue needed because this centerpiece, as you guys can see, already had the candlestick holders, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. This is something that you can do, as you can see, in a few minutes. Put it on your table. Once again, this is a traditional color scheme and palette, but you can do this with any color scheme. And if you're going to do a frosty one, I would definitely give this a spray paint with a white flat paint. But look how absolutely gorgeous, you guys. I cannot move it a lot because obviously the fire, but I just wanted to share with you how pretty it really does look. Now this is also something that you can do with the votive or the battery operated candlesticks. I know I sell them on Amazon. I just don't happen to have any, but I did wanted to share with you what it looked like all put together. I really hope this was helpful to you. As you can see, it is so pretty, and I really hope that you give it a try. Leave me a comment down below and let me know what do you think. All right, you guys, well, that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I had a blast sharing with you these beautiful centerpiece DIYs for your home decorating this year. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and share with your friends. And then also remember 10% off at David Christopher's with the code Ramon10. And if you want to enter with the big giveaway of 4 $50 gift cards to David Christopher's, all you have to do is share this video with the hashtag RamonAtHome and take a screenshot and send it to me on Facebook or Instagram via DM. Your name will be entered to win, and we will announce the 4 winners next Sunday here on my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. And as always, you can watch more videos right now. Until next time, bye.